So for today's video, I wanted to go ahead and kind of play around with very fun, very vibrant colors. I don't think I've actually done something like this glam-wise for my channel, so here it is, something a little bit more amped up, something a little bit more fun, something a little bit more colorful. And yeah, there's really not much to say about this look, but if you guys want to see how I did it, then just keep on watching. So I'm first gonna go ahead and get started on my eyebrows, and for that I'm using the Morphe Eyebrow Pencil. This one is in the shade Gyal. Now I'm just gonna go ahead with a little bit of concealer and carve my brows out. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that concealer out now. And for my eyeshadow base, I'm gonna be taking the P.Louise base in the shade Rumer number 2. I'm gonna go ahead and work that in my lid. And as always, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the base and blend it up a little bit more, just because I don't know exactly how far along I'm gonna take my shadow, so I decided to be a little bit more cautious from the get-go and just pull the primer up a little bit more. Now for my look today, I wanted to go ahead and dive into using some purples, so for that I'm gonna be using the Morphe 39L palette. Let me just open her up real quick. And this is how the palette looks like. It's just a whole bunch of beautiful warm tone purples. You got a whole bunch of cool tone purples as well. You get your shimmers, and then you get this middle row right here, and these are toppers. They are beautiful. So let's say you have a matte eyeshadow and you want to amp it up a little bit more. You can literally just go ahead and take one of these matte shades and then just put one of these right in the middle, and it immediately just like makes it pop a lot more. They have a very jelly-like consistency, which is very like hydrating and also super soft and gentle. Once you put it on the eye, it gives you a little bit of sparkle. It just takes your look to the whole nother level. So starting out, I have no idea what's gonna happen, but let's just make it work. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Bougie and then apply that all over my crease. I don't know what type of look I'm going for today, but I'm just gonna go ahead and work with it as I go. And I'm gonna use the Morphe M433 brush for that. And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start dragging the shadow up a little bit more into a wing. And I'm gonna continue to smoke it out throughout the crease. Let me just turn up the brightness real quick because I can barely see. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see me clearly. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Very Good and use that to really deepen up the crease a little bit more. And for that I'm using my N506 brush. I'm gonna use the M433 just to go back and forth and blend these shades together. And same thing, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this color out into a wing. Now remember, the deeper colors are gonna go below the lighter colors. So what I did was that I have Bougie pretty much blowing all the way up, almost nearly touching my eyebrow, but not really. Then I have the shade Very Good right in the crease just to deepen it out a little bit, just so there's a transition going on with every color. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Grape Mines and slowly deepen this crease out a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that right on my crease below that Very Good shade, and then again blow that out into the outer corner. And I'm just using that same N506 brush. Baby, won't you let the light shine through for you? And going back and forth between your blending brushes does really help with how the product diffuses. I think I'm gonna go ahead and really deepen this up. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Make It Rain. That's gonna go right most in the outer corner, but I'm bringing it slightly towards the crease. So the base is pretty much done, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease, and I'm gonna be using the same P.Louise base I use as my eyeshadow primer. And to carve out my crease, I'm literally gonna go ahead and take this little itty bitty fan brush, which is the Morphe M131 brush. This will change your cut crease game for good. Let me show you. So all I'm literally doing is just pressing in place. Now for the outer corner, I'm literally just gonna take a small pencil brush just to blend. And very quickly, I'm gonna go ahead and take Make It Rain again and place that right in the outer corner very quickly before the primer sets. And what I'm doing is I'm adding that outer corner dimension, and I'm also blending out the cut crease as well. I'm also trying to bring that on the upper lash line just a little bit to smoke that out. Now to blend that out, I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Very Good on another Morphe brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that to blend that out on the lid. I'm gonna dip into a little bit more of Make It Rain just to blend those two shades out. It's all about going back and forth with a lot of shades. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Ritzy Rose and apply that right in the center of my lid. And for that, I'm using the Morphe M210 brush. And as you can see, I'm kind of patting a little bit over that Very Good shade to give it slight luminosity and to also blend the colors together as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Making Bank on the exact same brush and put that right in the inner corner where it's left off. I kind of want to go ahead and make that just a teensy tiny bit more light. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Perfection, which is gonna be this pearlescent white, and place that right on top. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the little pencil brush with a little bit of Make It Rain one more time and really push that along the outside of the cut crease line just to intensify it a little bit more. Just making some final adjustments and we can move on to the other eye. We're pretty much now gonna repeat this on the other eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little break from the eyes and move on to the rest of the face. And to start off, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face using the Fenty Beauty True Matte Primer. Now, I'm very, very oily. I do tend to get really shiny throughout the rest of the day, and this does help control and minimize the illusion of one, pores. It does blur out a little bit, and also it does tend to mattify my skin. Even though I'm not gonna go out, I'm literally just doing this makeup because I'm bored, I still like to have a very matte surface, especially around the T-zone. Even though I do like that kind of healthy luminosity, at the same time I do want some oil control as well, just because I normally do tend to get oily. And for my foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Fenty Beauty Pro-filter foundation in the shade 300. Now, I've been really liking this foundation a lot lately. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Morphe sponge and just dab that on. And I'm using a sponge that has a flat edge so that way I can also sharpen up the eyeshadow a little bit more, like so. So I personally always prefer to use a sponge, especially for my foundation, but you can definitely use a brush if that's what you prefer, if that's what works for you. I was recently watching a video from Nikki Tutorials, and she kind of explained exactly why I personally don't like to use brushes, or the way that she explained it, it was her opinion on why she doesn't use brushes, which is actually my exact same opinion too. I feel like, especially if you have a texture on the skin, it just tends to pick all of that up and just bring the texture right back to the surface, and you don't want that. Now, I've been taking kind of like an extra step with my foundation routine, and before I go in with concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and start on my complexion, and for that, I'm gonna go ahead and take my M.A.C Pro Concealer Palette. I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade NW43 and actually use that as my cream contour. I'm literally just taking like a cheap paintbrush and just using that to place the cream contour where I would normally bronze and contour my face. I'm gonna go ahead and take the M523 brush and just start blending out my contour. And I'm doing a little mixture of both patting and swiping motions, so everything blends out a little bit smoother. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of going in circular motions just to really spread the product around. And I'm going in with patting motions after to make everything smoother, because again, if you start rubbing, especially on wet foundation, sometimes it can pick up the product a little bit, and you don't want that because then it starts showing the redness on the skin. It starts showing any texture that you might have. So that's why I'm first kind of swiping just so that I can get the product spread out, and then tapping so that way I'm evening out any texture. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend this throughout my cheeks. Now I'm gonna go ahead and conceal, and for that I'm gonna go ahead and take my Fenty Beauty Pro-filter concealer. This one's in the shade 290. I went a little bit lighter just so that I can brighten, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add another brightening concealer over that, but this is gonna be our base first. Also, that's one of the reasons why we did our contour first, so that way if I go a little too far with the contour, I have the concealer to pretty much even everything out and tone down the bronzer just in case. And this is when I go ahead and kind of turn my sponge around just so that way I can blend out the concealer, because I don't want my concealer to go all the way up. I want it to be very concentrated in the center of my face. And the reason why is because it can give me the illusion that my face is actually wider than it already is. So I want to go ahead and pretty much keep all that brightness concentrated more so in the center of the face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my Shape Tape concealer and pretty much place that in the very center of the face, and this is gonna help with brightening everything up a little bit more, but I'm only keeping that right in the center of the face. Again, like I said, you want to keep this part brighter and then everything else a little bit more contoured. And usually for these areas around my nose, I tend to take a brush, which is slightly smaller, and just blend that out under there. Now to set everything, I actually went ahead and kind of switched over from Laura Mercier and kind of took a little break from her. So today I'm gonna be taking the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I've been using this a lot lately and I've been swearing by it. It really smooths me down and it gives me more of a satin finish, which is usually what I like with my powders, because again, like I told you, I don't like a lot of matte. I like a little bit of a healthy glow. So this tends to really just give me that little bit of a luminosity that I like. Also, it does blur out my pores. I don't have as much texture. And also, it's tinted, so it doesn't give me that much flashback. And really press this on my T-zone where I normally get oily. Okay, so I am back right now. I was pretty much dumping all the footage to my laptop, and while in the process of that, I decided why not continue with the eyes, but do not worry, I'm gonna go ahead and explain exactly what I did. We're not late, we're still here. So, for my lashes, I'm actually using M.A.C Cosmetics. This is gonna be her Lashaholic Lash Book, and the style that I have on is Fearless, and I love how they're wispy, they're fluttery, they're full, but at the same time, you can see the look behind it as well. I'm gonna go ahead, like usual, leave a link down below to where I found these. For my waterline, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Alkaline pencil by Urban Decay. This one's the Glide On Slide On version. Just place that right on my waterline. I like to always go ahead and kind of take a little bit of it and smudge it down below. And by smudging the liner in the bottom lash line, it's actually going to work kind of like a primer, so that way the shadows we're going to apply later stick to it and also stand out a little better. I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Wine Not on the Morphe M213 brush. And I'm going to use that to smudge the color on the bottom lash line. Then I'm gonna take the M431 with a little bit of Berry Good and use that literally just to diffuse Why Not underneath my lash line. I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of Better Than Sex by Too Faced, which is the same mascara that I use for my top lash line, and apply this on the bottom lash line. Now for my bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Stalk'R bronzer. This one's in the shade Bayan Gyal. I'm going to go ahead and just add some warmth to my skin. And I'm using the Sephora Collection 204 brush, which is angled as well. That way it can easily get into the contours of the face. You guys already know the drill. I'm going to go ahead and take my Fix Plus and I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose using the exact same bronzer. And for my blush, I'm gonna be dipping into the 8W palette by Morphe. Because this look is super purpley, I'm actually gonna go ahead and take the shade Goals, which is actually a little bit more pinky, so it's gonna complement the eye look very well. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with Babe, which has a slight bit of a luminosity, just so that I can get a little bit of a glow. Now for my highlighter today, I literally cannot get enough of this product. It's just so freaking amazing. It is gonna be the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. This one's in the shade Illuminati. And this is a very, like, in your face, very luminous highlighter, which I personally tend to like. Like, I'm the kind of person, I don't care if I have a lot of texture, like, I wanna glow. So, like, you know. And I'm applying that with the Jaclyn Hill J02 brush. Did I seriously just highlight my acne? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and touch on my brows a little bit more. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel in the shade Ebony. And to set the brows in place, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Morphe Brow Setter. This one's in the shade Translucent, so it's pretty much a very clear color. This is just to set my brows in place and give them a little bit of shape. Now for this look, I did want to go ahead and incorporate at least one of the beautiful toppers in the middle. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of Catch the Light, and that's gonna be my inner corner highlight. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that shade and bring that along the inner corner, lower lash line, to add that luminosity, and also it's gonna open our eyes up a little bit more. I kind of want to go ahead and take a little bit of Strike a Pose, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and place that in the very, very inner part of the lower lash line. So we're just gonna go ahead and give that a go. I know that I look weird right now, but this is actually a cool trick that I learned again from the amazing Nikki here on YouTube. She put foundation over her lips so that way the lipstick really stands out and also makes it easier to line your lips. So for my liner, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Morphe lip liner in the shade Makeup Talk. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the lipstick in the shade Bare All and apply that right in the center and ombre it with the liner. And I'm gonna go ahead and top it all off with Froze Lip Gloss. So that is it for this makeup tutorial. I really hope that you all liked this video, and if you guys did, you know the drill. Then make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And if you guys want to follow me on any other social media such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know the drill. All the links will be down below, as well as the list of products that I use in this video. Now, I know that we're all going through some really tough times right now. Trust me, it's not been easy for me as well. But as long as we all stick together, we help each other out, and we inspire each other to keep pushing forward and to keep moving ahead, then we can all pull through, and I promise that we will all be fine in the end. So I really hope to see you guys next time, and bye!